Good morning, sunshine. Today I'm drinking some rum and coke because I have no school. I really want to show you guys the progress that I've made in learning about graphic novels, so I'm going to be showing you the new books that I bought during Christmas vacation, and then I'll probably be doing some character design. Since I don't want to give away too much for my comic, I'll be doing some characters that are unrelated or some characters from projects that I would like to revisit in the future, but that aren't a priority right now. So you'll see some of those sketches in a bit. I might be a bit drunk when I do them. One of the books that I bought with the money that I got during the Christmas holidays is How to Read Buildings, and it's a crash course in architectural styles. And I'm thinking of using this to do some world building exercises and just learn to draw different types of architecture and be able to differentiate between them. If you guys don't know, I'm a writer before I am an artist. I've been writing since high school. I've finished novels before. I have never gotten anything published because it's far from that level of quality yet. But world building is something I'm really familiar with, except when it comes to the art side of it. So although I can write about buildings like this, I have a lot of difficulty getting them down. Perspective is also something that I'm going to have to work on a lot more. So this is How to Read Buildings, and so far I've been enjoying it a lot. This is the Sandman Overtude Deluxe Edition from Neil Gaiman. And I was really excited to get this, mainly because I like Neil Gaiman's talk, I like his books, and I like his opinions, but when I start reading his books, although I like the story very much, I feel like there's a disconnect that comes between the prose and him and me, and somehow his ideas, although I like them, aren't translated well enough for me to enjoy his books, if that makes any sense at all. So I thought that if I bought a graphic novel that he worked on, I would get his stories that I like and his fantasy elements that I like a lot, but matched with artwork instead of prose. So maybe I could relate to this a lot more. I'm keeping the best one for last, but I'll show you the biggest one right now. This one is Low, and this book includes the first 15 volumes of that comic. And it's kind of a sci-fi, and they live in the depth of the oceans, and it's really cool in that way. Although I have been having a lot of trouble connecting with the characters, I'm imagining that once I read, this will be fixed, but yeah. I think I had really high expectations buying this, so maybe I might be suffering a little bit right now because of them, but this is a good book, or at least it feels like it so far. And finally, my favorite graphic novel that I got for Christmas is called Satania, and this was a blast, and I absolutely loved the ending. This is probably going to be a book that I'm going to inspire myself with a lot, and a book that I'm going to be rereading many, many times just because it was really, really good. This book is fun because although some of the artwork is deceptively simple, a lot of it also has very in-depth details and just textures that make it really interesting. Also, I like how colorful some of the spreads are in this. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, there's a lot of spreads with a lot of color that I absolutely love and that I can hopefully use to study some color theory. I'm really proud of this haul. Alright, since this is going to be a vlog type video, I'll come back to you later and show you some character designs that I've done today, and then maybe we can do some more artsy stuff. I'll just quickly show you guys my painting setup. These are my new Cotman watercolor sets from Winsor & Newton. This is my painting cup, not to be confused with the drinking cup. And then I have some paper towels. I have this eraser / pencil sharpener and my nature sketch paper, which I've been liking quite a lot, although wet on wet techniques don't do that great on there. It's mostly dry stuff that works fine. Here are the character designs that I'm going to be inking and coloring today. And I sketched these in with my col-erase pencil, and I'm going to be inking them with my Pigma brush pen, which I've been enjoying quite a lot. Hello, welcome to the drunk voiceover part of this video, where I narrate this drawing part drunk. So for the footage you're watching right now, it's actually the first real-time footage I've ever put out on YouTube. Real-time footage just isn't something I've been able to do with my camera setup because I mostly use a webcam that is kind of tricky to use. and it doesn't work that good for close-ups, but my phone works great. So in these clips I was holding my phone in my left hand and actually drawing with my brush pen in my right hand. Hence a little bit of shakiness sometimes, but I think I did a really, really good job for someone who's been drinking. I think I'm on my like 4th drink right now. That's not a lot, but I'm a lightweight. Okay. So a little bit about the characters that I'm inking, since I have to talk to you now for a good couple minutes. So, this is the Dunham family. Charlie Dunham is the single father, the mother died, and he's raising his 4 kids in an apartment. I only have 3 of the children drawn up. The other one is a little bit older, and I can't quite figure out how I want him to look yet, so I'm going to design him on a different day along with their mother. Yeah. These are characters from a story that I was writing a couple years ago. Actually, I think either in 12th grade or right out of high school. But this was a story that I was working on, and I had it all plotted out, and I had entire character sheets written down. So it was a perfect opportunity for me to try on character design. And I think I quite captured the essence of how these characters look like in my head, at least somehow. Some of them I surprised myself a little bit, like the girl with the really curly red hair. In my head, she didn't look like that. But when I drew her, I really, really liked how wild she was looking, and then I went overboard a little bit, and that's okay sometimes. I ended up really liking the final result. I did some color swatches for some of these, but I'm weird with color swatches. Sometimes I put down a color on my page, and I know exactly where I want it to be, and I know it's gonna be in that exact spot for sure in the final piece. So I can go ahead and put that one before the other ones. That's why you might see me doing color swatches after I've done certain parts, or like working in a weird order. It's just kind of what I do. Also with watercolors, since it's important to wait for layers to dry in between so that they don't bleed into each other, and you lose all the amount of detail you can get if you work too wet. So you need to wait for it to dry completely before you go on and add another shade or something else to it. So for this reason, I like to work on multiple things at one time on my page. You might have seen this in my watercolor studies video that I did. In this one, it's character designs. That's okay. I jumped around between characters. I would ink a character's hair, and then I would come up with ideas for another character's shirt color, and then I would work in different order depending on where my watercolors were dry or not. If you're interested in learning more about the Dunham children, or maybe reading some of what I've written, maybe that's something that we could do on this YouTube channel at one point. When I got to the skin tones, it was getting a little bit dark, and it wasn't going to work because other parts of my painting were still wet and I couldn't quite do the skin tone yet. So what I did is I went to my other sketchbook, and I opened my book called How to Read Buildings, and then I did some little studies from little parts of it that I liked. And so that's the speed paint you're seeing now. I sped up this footage a little bit. I was holding the camera with my hand, so it was hard. I didn't record any of the skin tone process because of the light that was dimming. It was only 4 p.m., but the sunlight had significantly darkened, and it was just hard for me to film without any additional lighting. I really need to get some lighting. Yeah, alright. So here are the final characters with their skin tones in. I do wish I had spent a little bit more time on their skin and figuring it out, because I just kind of went in for all of them. But yeah, I do quite like what I have. Alright. If you enjoyed this video or you want more real-time footage, please leave a comment down below and consider subscribing to my channel to encourage me. Alright, I'll go now. Bye!